This Premier League season is already sparking surprises every single week. Opportunities are opening for other teams, and with Bournemouth nicely settled into the Premier League, is this the chance for Eddie Howe to take Bournemouth to another level?
The stats and facts in this video were correct as of the 18th of October. I talk about how Bournemouth haven't had a clean sheet yet, however they did in their last game against Norwich with a 0-0 draw. That was just a heads up before the video starts, but now, enjoy the video.
Bournemouth have now spent a couple years in the Premier League, and we really forget where they came from and how amazing it is that they are really here. It was only in the 2008-9 season that they finished 21st in League 2 when they were deducted 17 points for entering administration. The season after this, they were promoted to League 1 by finishing second in the league. Eddie Howe left for Burnley but returned in October 2012 and got 2 promotions from League 1 and then from the Championship 2 seasons later. And that now brings us to Bournemouth's time in the Premier League, where they are now seen as a solid mid-table side. Their highest finish so far being 9th place in the 2016-17 season, and that being their only top 10 finish so far. The credit for all this success goes straight to the manager, Eddie Howe. Since they've been in the Premier League, the most impressive part of their game has been scoring goals. Apart from their first season, Bournemouth have been ranked 9th or above in the amount of goals scored. What has let them down is the amount of goals conceded. Last season, for example, they let 70 goals in, only Fulham and Huddersfield conceded more than that, and we know how bad they were. In fact, Cardiff City, who got relegated, conceded less than them, with 69 goals let in. This season, Bournemouth are still looking to get their first clean sheet, but what we can look at is how they're attempting to do just that. The most vital part of Bournemouth stopping the opposition comes in their midfield. Here we see Jefferson Lerma and new signing Philip Billing line up in the midfield too, where they attempt to sit back and intercept play in the middle. And so far this has been somewhat of a success for them. Bournemouth have been able to make the most interceptions in the Premier League within their first 8 games. Philip Billing making the most with 22, then Diego Rico, Jefferson Lerma and Nathan Ake are joint second with 16 each. Even though Bournemouth are yet to collect a clean sheet this season, their midfield partnership has given them that stability to do so. And what it's been able to do at the same time is bolster the attack as extra men can commit to going forward. This on screen now from @StatsZone shows the player influence in the Bournemouth v West Ham game. What this shows us is Billing and Lerma positioning deep in between the centre backs Ake and Cook, and this allows the fullbacks being Diego Rico and Jack Stacey to push higher up the pitch. Also on the player influence screen, we see that the wingers in this game, who are Josh King and Harry Wilson, were able to position themselves a little more inside, and the clear reason for this, as we just said, is that the fullbacks are pushing higher up the pitch. With that being said, let's look into the players in that system, starting with the main man up front, Callum Wilson. His first season at Bournemouth was the season that they got promoted from the Championship, and he scored 20 goals with 13 assists. Last season was his best season since then, when he scored 14 and got 10 assists in the Premier League, and now in the first 8 games of this season is seen him score 5 with 1 assist so far. Wilson seems to be continuing from where he left off last season, and this could be down to the way Bournemouth are playing. Ranking 17th in the most passes played and being one of only 4 clubs yet to make 3,000 passes, it does show that Bournemouth are sitting back quite a lot. But when they counter-attack with Callum's pace, it's hard for defenders to keep up. On top of that, Bournemouth have the highest conversion rate of any team in the Premier League, which says a lot about their goal-scoring capabilities. At the back, doing some of their defensive work is Dutch centre-back Nathan Ake. After being on loan from Chelsea in the 2016-17 season, he impressed the manager and signed permanently for £20 million. He's not exactly topping any defensive charts for this season, however his 1.4 tackles per game, 2 interceptions per game and 4.4 clearances per game is helping Bournemouth a lot. 2 players who have been more impressive this season are Steve Cook and Diego Rico. Steve Cook has been able to make 12 blocks, ranking him 3rd in the most made. As said earlier, he's made 16 interceptions and has also made the most clearances in the Premier League so far with 61. Diego Rico is someone that signed last season but only started 12 matches for Bournemouth. However, this season he's stepped right into the team and has made a drastic impact. He's played 5 games so far, getting 2 assists and has made the same amount of crosses as Ryan Fraser with 32. Plus, a bonus to his game is that he's able to take corners. This has led to him becoming the top chance creator for Bournemouth in some of the games he's played because his corners are finding the target. And to back this up, he got an assist from one of his deliveries in the game versus Southampton. I think the main aim for Bournemouth will be attempting to finish in the top half again. That would be a great improvement on their last 2 seasons and to prove once again that Eddie Howe is doing a fantastic job. And another player that I think can take them into the top half and push them a little further is David Brooks. Currently he's injured and hasn't played a game this season, but in around a month's time I think we may start to see him again. I've talked about him a little on this channel already because he had a great first season in the Premier League. With 7 goals and 5 assists, he added a burst of energy and creativity to the squad. Eddie Howe described him as a player that can do a little bit of everything. He's very good offensively, is creative, turns well with the ball and is very intelligent. Maybe for Bournemouth, 7th place in Europa League qualification is a bit too much, and I'm fairly sure that's not what they're aiming for anyway. If Eddie can guide the Cherries to a solid top half finish this season, it'll be a successful campaign for them, and something to build on again in the next season. But maybe you think different. Comment below and get involved if you think Bournemouth could fight for a better finish, or if you think the opposite, if you think they'll struggle for a top half finish. I recommend that you don't miss future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.